Well, we're back here again talking about none other than the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, today's news video is definitely going to be an interesting one, as these are some of the weirdest stories I think I have ever seen for the system so far. But without further ado, I have to say something before we jump into this. Are you subscribed to the channel yet? We are so close to 17,000 subscribers. We are trying to hit that before we take the New York City trip at the end of May, where we're going to be going to film the Switch 2 line, be in line every day, vlog every day. It's going to be a great time. I'm picking up the Switch 2 there. So if you guys want to see those videos, make sure to subscribe because it's going to be a blast. And I would love to hit 17,000 before we get there, because that's just a nice number to have while going in there. Without further ado, let's jump right into the news. For our first story, we are going to talk about the GameCube Classics. Now, obviously, the GameCube Classics is a feature that has been confirmed to be a day one feature on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, a lot of people have been confused regarding the launch games that are coming to it on launch day. 3 games that Nintendo had confirmed: Wind Waker, F-Zero, and Soul Calibur. Now, what the confusing part is, during the Nintendo Treehouse portion of the GameCube, they actually showed off Super Mario Strikers onto the app. On top of that, the advertisements for GameCube Classics over in Japan show the 3 games that we just talked about and Super Mario Strikers. And the demos that were at Japan, and I think a few other countries, had Mario Strikers. And I don't believe the one that we had over here in New York City and all the other places had Mario Strikers, but the Nintendo Treehouse demo did have Strikers. The confusing part is Nintendo has continued to say that Strikers is not going to be available on launch day, and it'll be something that'll be available at a later time. But all of the marketing that's being pushed with the GameCube Classics always has Mario Strikers right beside these other games that are confirmed to arrive with it on launch day. So it has people wondering, is it possible that we're getting Mario Strikers onto that application? And to be honest with y'all, I don't think it's coming. However, the fact that it's already showing up within the app and being marketed this early makes me think that Nintendo is going to be updating the GameCube Classics app a lot more than what we saw with N64, the Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo. I think they are going to be updating the GameCube part a lot more frequently than we're expecting, and that's why Mario Strikers is on there. So maybe within a month from now, or even a few weeks after the Switch 2 comes out, we see Mario Strikers arrive very soon. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping. I think it's weird that it's a part of these demos and it's not going to be here at launch day. What that tells me is that we are very close to getting that onto the Switch 2 app. I just wonder how soon. Or maybe Nintendo just throws a curveball and says, hey, Mario Strikers will be available day one. It's just that the Treehouse crew has confirmed that Strikers was not going to be available day one. It's just kind of confusing to see all the marketing and how they're showing Mario Strikers, and why is it even there in the first place if it's not available day one. Very confusing, very weird, but nonetheless, I still think it's exciting to have the GameCube onto Nintendo Switch 2. I definitely want to hear what you guys think about this, and what are some GameCube games you would like onto the Nintendo Switch 2 app. Okay, this one's pretty crazy. So obviously, Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 Edition has been available to play at these Nintendo Experience events. And over in Japan, someone managed to speedrun Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game. Why I find this so interesting is I know from what I've seen from other people's videos, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the games that Nintendo has given players the least amount of time to play for whatever reason. And the fact that someone was still able to beat this game with the speedrun mechanics, I think is pretty incredible, because if I do recall, I know over at the New York event, they were only letting people touch Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for about 5 minutes. But that did not stop this player. I think that's pretty cool that that was able to be pulled off with however amount of time they were able to play the game. I'm hopeful that it was longer than 5 minutes, because I know over here at the first Nintendo Experience event, that's what ended up happening. But the fact that this is happening at official Nintendo events where they're demoing the game, I think that's just really cool and really exciting. Either way, that's quite the achievement to pull that off. All right, so we already knew that Madden 26 was going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, which is the first time a Madden game has ended up on a Nintendo platform since the Wii U, I'm pretty sure, which is a very long time. But what's the most interesting about this Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game is it's going to be 62 gigabytes. That is a lot of gigabytes. And that is going to be very, very, very bad to see all these games with high storage, because as things go with the game key cards, that is going to kill people's storage, even if you have the 1 terabyte memory card. So weird to see people go through this game key card phase, and I'm hoping Nintendo's able to do something. I feel like that the rumors of the 8 gigabyte to 64 gigabyte cartridges are true, because there's so many things that are becoming a game key card that does not make sense to be a game key card. It's also very weird that EA is making Madden a game key card, but when it comes to Split Fiction, the Nintendo Switch 2 physical edition of the game is a code in the box. I don't even understand why that's not a game key card. I feel like I'm at the point that I'm begging for a game key card. The game key cards was supposed to defeat the purpose of the codes in box. Like, there was not supposed to be any of that. EA's doing weird things. However, I think the concerning thing about this is the amount of storage that this has taken, as I think this is going to be a very often thing that we see where a lot of games are going to take 40 to 60 gigabytes of your storage, no matter what. Okay, this one is also pretty weird. When I saw this, I was so confused. But Cyberpunk 2077, you know how it's getting a physical copy, right? And now they've made such a big deal how it's all on cartridge with the 64 gigabyte cartridge. Obviously, that's going to be very expensive, right? Right. So you would think that they would be pushing this game to be bought on digital. That way CD Projekt Red can make more money than having to make more physical copies, that type of stuff. Well, over in Japan, it's a different story. For whatever reason, the Cyberpunk 2077 game is cheaper to buy physically than it is to buy digitally. Don't really understand the concept of that, considering how expensive these cartridges are. But for whatever reason, over in Japan, you can get the game cheaper physically than it is digital. How is it over here in America? It is the same price no matter what. So that's unfortunate. But either way, I'm definitely still picking up Cyberpunk 2077 physically. This is probably the game that I'm looking forward to most to seeing on how it plays for Nintendo Switch 2. It's definitely the most excited third-party game I'm pumped for. Obviously, I'm pumped for Mario Kart, but from a third-party perspective, I am really pumped to be playing Cyberpunk, especially considering that I have not played the DLC yet, and I am a big fan of Cyberpunk 2077. In fact, I loved the game before all these fake fans came out and praised the game after the Netflix show came out. I was a part of the fan base in 2020, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just flexing on y'all. All these fake Cyberpunk fans came out at like, what, was it like late 2021 that show came out? Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm a real one. You guys over there that came from the Netflix show, not a real one. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, this is the day of weird news stories for the Nintendo Switch 2, and we got a weird one. The Nintendo Switch 2 icon screen, when you're selecting your profile, if you noticed on the Switch 1, it was a square. This time, on the Switch 2, it is going to be circles. Why Nintendo decided to make this choice, I don't really know. It's kind of one of those random things that happened. It's not a thing that really affects me in any emotional way. I mean, I guess I really like the squares, but I guess the circles is kind of the future since all the social media platforms seem to go with the circle, and I guess that's just the future. We are getting rid of squares. Circles are the new path. The only thing I wish Nintendo would have done when it came to the system of Nintendo Switch 2 is instead of focusing on these weird things such as what the profile is going to look like, why didn't they utilize a brand new UI system? I am so bummed about that. I think that is probably the most disappointing thing regarding the Nintendo Switch 2, and that is its UI. It could have been peak. You know how all of us thought that the Switch 2 was going to be something great with its UI? It's whatever. Nintendo has a way. They must know what they're doing here. But yeah, circles. Now this one I don't think comes to a shock to many people, but Nintendo has confirmed that the Switch 1 will not be compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Now, I think this one makes a lot of sense, as the Nintendo Switch 2 dock seems to actually have things to it to where it's not like a Switch 1 dock where it's literally just nothing, essentially. The Switch 2 dock has a air vent to it. It looks like it might have some sort of technology side to it. It makes sense to why the Switch 1 would not be compatible, but it does make me wonder, what does this mean for like the future of Nintendo Switch 1 docks? Because those are kind of already hard to find, and I feel like now with the Switch 2 coming out, those things are definitely going to be even harder to find a Switch 1 dock other than buying a brand new system. Or you can use a third-party one, of course, but third-party docks are very, very risky to use. I'm sure you guys already know this, but I have seen some crazy things happen to people's Nintendo Switch when they use a third-party dock. That is why, for me, I am going to do everything in my power to avoid using a third-party dock. Guys, that is everything I have for you today. Let me know what y'all are thinking. I think the GameCube stuff is interesting. The Cyberpunk stuff is very interesting. The speedrunning stuff's very interesting. There was a lot of weird and different stories here. I thought this was kind of a cool and different video, but I definitely want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the stories that we talked about. And definitely let us know what you're thinking on that. Now, guys, I have been talking for way too much. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord server, check out the Instagram, all that good stuff. We've been uploading literally every single day since the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation, which means we've actually uploaded every day for the month of April. Wow. Props to us, right? The plan is to continue that for the month of May. So if you guys enjoyed the daily uploads, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Did I do the full-on outro? I think I missed the Monado Marine membership. Monado Marine membership, $5 a month. This makes it look like it's $10 a month. $5 a month. Helps out the channel tremendously. Y'all have a wonderful day.